Hello and welcome to TD's Pokemon Lair. I'm TD and this is the Lair. Today we'll be unboxing a box of 10 Pokemon cards I sent to Professional Sports Authenticator or PSA over a year ago. I got them back in this nice little box. They pack them very nice and neat so they don't get damaged. And let's get them out of this box and see what grades we got. Hey, let's go. We have a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Cerulean City Gym, a first edition trainer, the number 108 card. Looking at the front of this card, you can see the surface is very clean. There's no bends, creases, grime, or dirt. Our centering from side to side, I think, is within tolerance. Looking from the top to bottom at our centering, there's more on the top than the bottom, so the centering is towards the bottom, and our corners and our edges are very clean. Looking at the back of the card, the surface is nice and clean. I don't see any damage with the graphics. It looks really good. Our centering looks better on the back than it did on the front, from side to side and top to bottom. I really think it's all within tolerance. And looking at our edges and our corners, the only thing I can find is some slight damage to the lower right corner. And that will give us a grade of 9. That's really good. Let us look at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Erika's Maids, a trainer card, the 109. Looking at the front surface of this card, you can see it's very clean. I don't see any damage, dirt, or grime. Looking at our centering from left to right, I think it's within tolerance from top to bottom. I think it's slightly towards the bottom, probably out of tolerance. And our edges and our corners, I don't see any problems. Turning the card over, you can see that the graphics look really good. I don't see any problems with the surface of the card. Our centering, I think, is within spec from top to bottom and left to right. And finally, looking at our edges and our corners, there's some slight edge damage in the middle of the right edge, and there's some damage across the lower edge. And that's going to give us a grade of near mid 8. That's not too bad. I'm looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Erika's Perfume, a first edition trainer, the number 110 card. Looking at the front of this card, it looks really good. I don't see any damage to the surface, no dirt or grime. Looking at our centering from side to side, I think it's a little towards the left, and from top to bottom, it's a little towards the bottom. But looking at our edges and our corners, I think they're very nice and clean. As we turn the card over and look at the back, let's start with our centering. Our centering from side to side, I think, looks really good. Top to bottom, I think that's within spec. Looking at our surface of the card, I think it's really clean. The graphics look really good. There's no problems with them. And our corners and our edges, the only problem I can see is the upper right corner has some slight damage. And we'll receive a grade of 9. I like those 9s all the time. It's a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Good Manners trainer card, the number 111. Looking at the front of this card, the surface looks really clean. There's no bends, breaks, dirt, damage, or anything like that. Looking at our centering, though, it's quite a bit to the right and quite a bit towards the top. I think that's really going to take us out of even the 9 spec. But our corners and our edges, I think, look really good. As we flip the card over, you can see that the centering problem continues on the back of the card, where you can see it's quite a bit towards the left and towards the top. Looking at our surface, though, it looks really clean. I don't see any problems with the graphics. Looking at our corners and our edges, though, there's some damage down just about center of the left edge. There's some right upper corner damage, and there's some slight damage across the whole lower edge from corner to corner. And that's going to give us a grade of near mint 7. I guess that's probably about right. Check out this 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Lieutenant Surge's Treaty, a first edition trainer, the number 112 card. Looking at the front of this card, you can see that it's clean. I don't have any dirt, grime, or damage, no creases, no bends. Looking at our edges and our corners, they're very clean and crisp. I don't see any problems there. Looking at our centering, though, from top to bottom is towards the bottom, and from left to right it is towards the left. As we continue to the back of the card, you can see that the surface is nice and clean. I don't see any damage to the graphics. Our centering is from left to right is a little bit towards the right, and from top to bottom it's a little towards the top. Finally, looking at our corners and our edges, I think they all look pretty good except the right edge. There's some slight damage, and I think there's some to the lower right corner. And we'll get a grade of Mint 9. I like it. Hey, it's a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Misty's Wrath, a trainer card, the 114. Looking at the front of this card, you can see it's pretty good. The surface looks pretty clean, except for one little speck down on the lower left border. There's a speck of dirt. Looking at our centering, it is towards the right and I think from side to side and from top to bottom. I think it's slightly towards the top, but possibly within tolerance. Our corners and our edges look really nice though. As we look to the back of the card, the surface looks really good. I don't see any problems there. Our graphics are nice. Our centering from right to left is towards the left, and from top to bottom is towards the top. Looking at our corners and our edges, there's some damage to the upper right corner and down there on the lower edge towards the right corner. And that's going to give us a grade of near mint 8. That's pretty good. This card is a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Pewter City Gym, a first edition trainer card, the 115th card of the set. Looking at the front surface of this card, at first glance it looks great. Our centering from side to side and top to bottom I think is within tolerance. Our corners and our edges look really good. Looking at the surface, closely at the surface of the card, everything looks really good until you get to the upper right corner of the border. Right there at the gray corner, there's a little ding or dent in the card right there. The back of the card, the surface looks really good. I don't see any problems there. Graphics are nice. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, I think it's pretty good. Looking from left to right, it's a little bit towards the left. And finally, looking at our corners and our edges, not too bad. Our upper right corner and our lower left corner both have some slight damage. And that's going to give us a grade of Mint 9. I'm actually surprised by that one. Let us look at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Recall, a first edition trainer, the number 116 card. Looking at the front of this card, it looks really nice. I don't see any dirt, damage, or creases or bends. Our centering from left to right and top to bottom. Left to right looks pretty good. From top to bottom, I think it's slightly towards the top. And our corners and our edges are very clean and crisp. The back of the card looks really good. I think its surface is nice and clean. I don't see any dirt or damage, creases or bends. Our centering from top to bottom is slightly towards the top, and from left to right I think it's towards the left. Finally, looking at our corners and our edges, the lower right corner has some slight damage. And that's going to give us a grade of Mint 9. I'll take it. Let's look at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Sabrina's ESP, a trainer card, the 117th of the set. Looking at the surface of this card, it's very clean. I don't see any dirt, damage, creases, or bends. Our centering from top to bottom and left to right I think is all within tolerance. And looking at our corners and our edges, I think they're nice and clean and crisp. As we turn the card over and look at the back of the card, you can see that the surface is nice and clean. There's no damage, dirt, or problems there. Our centering from left to right is towards the left, and from top to bottom it's slightly towards the bottom. Our corners and our edges at first glance don't look too bad, but finally as you take a closer look, there's some edge damage around on the right edge and lower edge around that right corner. And with that, we're going to get a grade of near mint 8. Not too shabby. You are looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Erika's Perfume, a first edition trainer, the number 110 card. Looking at the front of this card, the surface looks really clean. There's no bends, breaks, or damage, no dirt or grime. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, it's towards the bottom, probably out of the number 10 spec, and side to side I think it's towards the left. And our edges and our corners though look really clean. As I look to the back of the card, you can see that it's pretty clean. I don't see any problems with the surface of the card or the graphics. Our centering from side to side is towards the right, matching the front of the card, and from top to bottom I think it's actually a little towards the top. Looking at our corners and our edges, the edges are really clean. The only damage I can find is some to the lower left corner. And that's going to give us a grade of Mint 9. That was better than I thought I was going to get. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and like. And always remember, you gotta catch them all. Have a great day.